Hey, what's up, guys? Tuesday, the 21st. I was supposed to get one done on Friday. I had it planned out, was ready to get it happening, but I was traveling Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. I was supposed to be on a plane at 7 a.m., Salt Lake City, get back here to Arizona. And I got a notification the flight was delayed till 10 a.m. No big deal. Didn't have to rush, of course, due to they had crew that needed more hours of rest before they can legally get back on the plane. Perfectly cool. I get there, still waiting on a crew member. So delayed. Again, they extended the delay out from 10 till about 11:30. And then I'm sitting at the gate. There was damage to the plane that they had just discovered. They claimed that there was a broken window, cracked window on one of the exit doors. So they had to decide whether or not they're going to fix it, how they can go about that. They then pushed our delay till like 2 o'clock. Then they called my name, which, because I'm very, very blessed to have a decent status with the airline. So they called my name and said, hey, we can put you on another airline. It's going to be, they started giving me some rundown on it. I was like, no, I'll just hold. It's cool. Well, they said, well, we're going to be possibly here another couple hours. And worst case scenario, we can put you on the next flight, which is at 2:30 if this thing goes later into the day. It's like, I'm cool with that. So then I went and sat back down. And there was a family milling around right there looking for a place to sit. And I was the only person on that row. You got to keep the distance. So I just stood up and said, hey, you guys go ahead and take that row. And I figured I'm just going to go get me something to drink. I'll be back. Went over to a little restaurant area right there, sat down for 12 minutes, right? Got back to the gate 13 to 15 minutes after I left, boarded the plane and gone. My plane was gone. So I had to sit there for a while. I had to call the Advantage desk because I'm an executive platinum with the airline because of all the travel that I do, and they put me on the next flight right away, took care of me. A little frustrated that how is that possible? I'm gone less than 15 minutes and my flight is gone. I'm guessing there's only like 5 people on the damn plane. But what ended up happening, it's like, there's got to be a reason. I'll end up sitting next to a really, really cool guy flying back to Phoenix. He's in medical equipment sales. Really, really cool person. So eventually I might have him on the YouTube channel, the Quit Jerking Off Initiative. I think we're going to have him on there. He's really, really cool to talk to. So if anything, one of the benefits I've got from flying is you get to fly next to a lot of cool people. And the benefit I have with all the flying I've done is with the status, I get some really good upgrades. And because of those upgrades, you get to sit with in a spot where you can really talk to people. And so it's not about the upgrade. It's not about the seat. And it's not about the free drinks or any of that kind of stuff for the service. It's about who you sit next to. So if you ever have to question in your business whether or not you should be considering doing the first class flight, that's my thought. If you're in a position where you can, but you're like, it's expensive, think about the relationships. In reality, relationships are everything. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm doing this conversation with you, because ultimately you're a business owner, a real estate investment business owner. The relationship is the most important part of it, not the interest rate, not the cost, not the cash flow. Those are all important things, but it's not the most important. It's who you have on your team. I'm building those relationships out there. So that's what ended up coming from that. That's why you didn't see me on Friday. I apologize for the delay here. So today, bonds are flat. They're just kind of trading sideways still. They're not getting really better, but they're not getting worse. They're kind of staying along that trend line. And when we got some confusion going on in the stocks, right? The Dow was up by 300 points, but the NASDAQ was down by 50, which doesn't never necessarily happen very often. So it's definitely difficult to really forecast the direction of bonds because the Fed's just keeping it where it's going. If we don't have any investment capital going in there to push it better than what the Fed's doing, then we may just maintain this position or actually get slightly worse. So I'm really kind of worried about where this could be, because right now we're right smack in the middle of the trading range, and we'll get into that. It looks like that there is the optimism sentiment index is at near record highs for the 10-year bond. So there's some things out there. I'm kind of curious on how this is going to play out. But let's take a look at the bonds just so we can show you what we're staring at, and we'll go back to the 3.5 and see what it's doing. So it looks to be, again, holding that flat channel. If you look at where most of the trading is, it's a little bit up today. So we're seeing a little bit of improvement there, but not enough to really make a major difference. We might see 12 basis points different in cost. Not going to really affect the rate much. And then we're looking at the 4.0. We'll see where that one's trending right now. So see, it's actually trending off its bottom, which still, when you consider it's right in this channel. And before, when we got into this channel, we punched out it. Look how we went. We did go low. We did get hit. We've come back off that low, but we weren't locking anything right here. Any of these locks I've done these last little bit. So just telling people, maybe we want to start looking a little bit more at these locks, because I don't know if it's going to climb back up into this higher point. Plus, at the same time, also, we're still dealing with the servicing issues out there. We're still dealing with the demand for a little bit extra points. There is a few people coming in and out of the market. They're making some bids that get us a little bit better deal here and there, but it's not happening all the time. So right now we're still looking at a very similar rate structure. We're not seeing a whole lot of as far as things improving to the extent that we would be jumping up and down telling people to wait. If you see the rates at a decent point, take it. We don't know where things are going to go. We don't know what inflation is going to be. We know inflation's huge on the rise. The food indexes are at a 9-year high because of what's going on here. It's shortages. So knowing that that's pushing inflation, the Fed printing money, pushing inflation, if you can get your hands on a 30-year fix now, just do it. I wouldn't argue with that. In fact, there has been some people asking me about ARMs. Say, the rates are so awesome. What about an ARM? What can I get? I can't endorse that. I never will endorse getting an ARM in an environment like this. It just doesn't make sense. Do not buy something that's going to force you to refinance at some point. I know that the thought is, I'll just hang on to it for a couple of years. What if the rates move that much on a 30-year fix within, let's say 3 years from now? What if it goes from right now 4 point, say whatever, low 4s, and it goes up to like 6.5 in 2 years from now, right? Are you going to want to refinance that 7-year ARM later? I'm still thinking you're best to stay in that 30-year fixed and quit trying to hunt rate. The rates are amazing right now. I do have a lot of people keep hammering me. It's like, did they get better? Did they get better? It's like, they're not changing that much. Be extremely happy with the gift we're getting. Let's just move forward, because we don't know when it's going to stop. The Fed could change their policy tomorrow. Even though they said 2020, guys, let's just remember where we're coming from here. The Federal Reserve is an independently held bank that they can choose to do whatever the heck they want. The government themselves, when did they flip-flop and changed ideas before? It's happened a lot. We've seen it. So since we've seen that, take advantage of what we've got right now. Now let's go back to what we were talking about before, is the qualifying, right? In the qualifying world, we talked about credit a little bit. Now we're going to look at, we want to talk a little bit about the asset side of things. And I'm going to be really brief, because our time's going long here, and we'll go into this a little bit more on the next one. So assets, what we're going to be looking for is a person has enough money in an account that they own, right? That they have checking, savings, 401k, IRA, money market accounts, whatever that might be. We need to be able to verify that they have their funds. And we're going to look at a 60-day window. So we're going to look at least 2 statements. If it's a quarterly statement, we'll look at 1 statement. And we need to see that the funds were there the whole time. Now, if we see a large deposit in there, we're going to have to ask where it came from if it's not evident on the statement. And if we don't have any way of being able to document that, just know that we can't use it. So just, when a lot of people talk about seasoning funds, it's not a matter of seasoning. You can't just put the money in there and let it sit for, it's been sitting in for 60 days, so it's good. No, if we see it on the statement, we have to ask where it came from. So the reason we say 60-day seasoning, or that is even a thing out there, is because we typically ask for 2 bank statements, and they're usually done in 30-day windows. Well, if there's anything that appears on those, we have to ask about it, guys. So just use that, think through that. If anything pops in there, so if you're trying to, if you got some funds from somebody that owed you money years ago, but it's hard to even verify where it came from, you don't have a note, you don't have any copy of a check where you guys exchanged funds, it's going to have to sit there for a little while before you start making an application. Consider that. But we are forced to have to ask those questions. Then you also have to have a certain amount of reserves. And this is what we're going to talk about next time, is a reserve calculator. You need to be able to have a certain amount for the property you're going to buy, subject property, and a certain percentage of the balance of the properties you have. So we'll have that posted up on the website at some point, that calculator, that you can use it. I'll have it in my app, and we'll go over that reserve calculator. So you want to know that you have enough money for the down payment, the closing costs, and reserves on the subject property you're going to buy, and anything you have already in your portfolio. So that's going to be our next conversation, is the actual reserve calculator. Thank you, guys. Hope you have a great week, and I'll shoot you another one towards the end of the week, probably from the mountains.